Hi there. My name is Ben Trust, and I am a current religious studies student at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, and this is my Religious Pluralism video project. Now, my religious background might at first seem a bit out of the ordinary. In this case study, I will primarily be answering the question, what is Unitarian Universalism, and how does it tie into my family's story of religious pluralism? Part 1. What is Unitarian Universalism? Unitarian Universalism is a liberal religion that emerged in Boston, Massachusetts in 1961. While this does make it seem like a relatively new religion, the UU movement can actually trace its roots all the way back to the Universalist Church of America, founded in 1793. Originally being a subset of Protestant Christianity, the modern Unitarian Universalist movement recognizes and celebrates wisdom from the spiritual traditions of a vast array of world religions. As such, beliefs and practices from Christian, Jewish, Muslim, Buddhist, Hindu, Taoist, Humanist, Sikh, Baha'i, and even more religious traditions are incorporated and analyzed. Belief in a deity is not required, and many members practice various forms of prayer or meditation. The beliefs of individual members are, thus, very diverse, with members coming from a wide range of religious backgrounds. In fact, UU congregations promote ideas of spirituality and wisdom through the concept of a living tradition. The living tradition is drawn from the 6 primary sources of UU. These include direct experience of that transcending mystery and wonder affirmed in all cultures, which moves us to a renewal of the spirit and an openness to the forces which create and uphold life. Words and deeds of prophetic people, like Jesus, for example, or also Muhammad, which challenge us to confront powers and structures of evil with justice, compassion, and the transforming power of love. Wisdom from the world's religions, which inspires us in ethical and spiritual life. Jewish and Christian teachings, which call us to respond to God's love by loving our neighbors as ourselves. Humanist teachings, which counsel us to heed the guidance of reason and the results of science, and warn us against idolatries of the mind and spirit. And spiritual teachings of earth-centered traditions, which celebrate the sacred circle of life and instruct us to live in harmony with the rhythms of nature. Unitarian Universalists regard teachings from all major world religions with the same level of respect, and they seek insight from all of them. To quote UU Reverend Kathleen Rowlands, "Throughout history, we have moved to the rhythms of mystery and wonder, prophecy, wisdom, teachings from ancient and modern sources, and nature herself. As such, members often exercise their beliefs as they see fit, practicing whichever holidays and observing whichever traditions they find meaning in." In order to better follow this imperative, practitioners of UU are held together by a shared covenant wherein they vow to follow what are known as the 7 principles of UU. While there is no one true sacred scripture in UU tradition, members should strive to follow the following 7 principles. 1. Belief in the inherent worth and dignity of every person. 2. Justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. 3. Acceptance of one another and encouragement of spiritual growth. 4. A free and responsible search for truth and meaning. 5. The right of conscience and the use of the democratic process within our congregations and in society at large. 6. The goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all. And 7. Respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. Overall, UU focuses on spiritual growth of the self through the acceptance, study, and understanding of a variety of the world's religions, all of which can provide insight into one's own spirituality. Every Universalist Unitarian practices this growth in their own way, and all belief systems are respected and used to help recount a greater spiritual narrative. This means that UU communities are inherently religiously pluralistic and diverse. Part 2. What is my family's story? The 2 sides of my family come from starkly different religious traditions. First, let's talk about my mom's side of the family. My grandmother and grandfather are from Portugal and Argentina respectively, having immigrated to the United States in the 1950s. With both countries being around 90% Catholic, it's easy to see why they practice Catholicism. For this reason, my mom was brought up Catholic in Concord, Massachusetts. Yes, that Concord. Like, shots heard around the world. So these pictures are from her confirmation. My dad's family, on the other hand, is Jewish. My great-grandparents came to the US in the early 1900s, mostly from what was then the Russian Empire, but also from the German Empire. The United States simply offered a better life than what my great-grandparents could get in Russia. As with many Jewish families during the 1900s, my family made their home in New England. By the time of my grandparents, my family mostly practiced Reform Judaism. Here's a photo to the right of my grandmother lighting the Hanukkah menorah in 2006, and on the left we can see a Passover Seder. So, the two sides of my family come from obviously very different religious backgrounds. So, part 3. Why did my family choose to take part in the Unitarian Universalist movement? When my parents got together, the issue of their differing religions was something that they were very aware of. Which religion would they practice, especially once they had kids? Well, the UU movement was something that really appealed to them. The focus on spiritual growth, morals, peace, justice, and diversity of beliefs were all ideals that my parents could get behind. The fact that members were allowed to worship in any way they deemed fit also worked out well. My parents were actually married in 1996 by a Unitarian Universalist reverend. Pictured here to the right, this is my mom. For my upbringing, we celebrated both Jewish and Christian holidays, including Hanukkah, Passover, but also Christmas and Easter. We also periodically attended services at our local UU church when I was younger. This is the UU church in Worcester, Massachusetts. So, to conclude, the UU ideals of peace, harmony, and tolerance, and the golden rule, to do unto others as you would have others do unto you, have undoubtedly shaped my worldview and understanding of religion. While I don't personally identify with any one religion, I know my uniquely pluralistic upbringing has had positive effects on my development as a person. In my opinion, religious organizations like UU offer great insight into how various religions and religious groups can live in harmony and understanding. While the movement is particularly popular in Massachusetts, there are congregations located all throughout the United States and the rest of the world. Here are the sources of information and images I used. Thank you for listening, and I hope this has been an interesting look into Unitarian Universalism and how it has helped me shape my worldview. Have a great day.